evening. As a preliminary matter, this is Jason Esarifi, the Vice Chair of the Auburn Planning Board. Permit me to confirm that all members are present. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Dwarkesh Nalon,
Present.
Ronald Brooks,
Present.
Sierra Smara,
Present.
Glenn Feldman.
Present.
Town official and employees participant, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Danielle Chamberlain.
Present.
Thank you. Good evening. This is open meeting to the Town of Auburn Planning Board of Tuesday, April 23rd, 2024, now called to order at 7 p.m. This meeting is being conducted as a hybrid format under Chapter 22 of the Acts of 2022. For this meeting, the Planning Board is convening in person and by remote access. The remote access information has been posted on the town's website identifying how the public may join. Please note that the meeting is being recorded by Auburn Cable Television. If there's anybody in the audience recording tonight, be aware that your screen may be captured. Accordingly, those members of the Planning Board, employees, and members of the public who participate remotely, please be aware that other folks may be able to see your screen. Please rise and join us for salute to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah, hallelujah, it looks fancy. Yes, it does. Thank you, Genevieve. You're welcome. Not a problem.
I think we'll pick somebody else up. All supporting materials that have been provided to members of this body are available on the town's website. I'd like to remind the audience, applicants, town administration, and each of the planning board members to please refrain from asking questions in regards to all matters discussed this evening without first being granted my consent. All right. First up on the agenda, we have an approval not required, a presentation by the CMRPC Housing Production Plan by Emily Globitz. Please come to the podium.
Introduce myself. My name is Emily Globitz. I work for the Central Mass Regional Planning Commission, and I've been working with the town of Auburn for the past a little bit over a year now on the housing production plan. So it's now been drafted. Hopefully you all had a chance to review the housing production plan. I have I'll keep it short tonight, presentation summary of the plan, and then give you an opportunity for feedback. Afterwards, if you're comfortable tonight, I am looking for a vote of approval of the plan, which afterwards it would be sent to the select board for approval prior to submitting to the state. Just a quick background, this process kicked off in March 2023. It is an update to an existing plan, which was completed in 2017. That plan is now expired. These are 5-year strategic plans that are approved by the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities, formerly DHCD. So myself and the Housing Production Plan Committee, which is made up of staff from the Development and Inspectional Services Department and the town manager. We've been meeting regularly, approximately once per month, to guide this process. They've been fantastic with providing me with really insightful information with the town and giving great feedback every step of the way. We did quite a bit of community outreach. We had a community-wide survey that was focused on housing affordability and future housing needs. That was open last year between April and August. We held a community forum in the fall, which featured a presentation and question and answer session and small breakout group activity that was held here. And I believe materials from both of these public outreach opportunities have been available to access on the town's website as well. The results of the community survey should be on there, I believe. I haven't checked recently. These public outreach methods have informed the plan that, in fact, there are people a good number of people in Auburn that are struggling to afford to live here. They don't have their housing needs met. We also asked the public about preferences related to future housing locations and types, finding that there's a lot of demand for housing for seniors and first-time home buyers. Generally housing that's affordable but reflects the existing housing stock that's already here. So I'll also provide a little bit of background on why this is important, why we've been doing this. So basically under Mass General Laws, Chapter 40B, cities and towns are required to reserve 10% of their housing stock as affordable to, deed restricted as affordable to households earning 80% or less of the area median income. So currently Auburn is only at a little over 5%. Which works out to 366 units, when in reality you need 698 units to comply with this law. So you're about just over 300 units short. Under Chapter 40B, this leaves the town vulnerable to developers who can seek comprehensive permits and override local zoning requirements to build more densely if they're including affordable units in their proposed developments. I'm sure you're all aware of that, but it's good to just clarify that. This plan, once it's in place, can actually be used as a tool to manage 40B developments, along with acting as, a general guide for the town in terms of housing and housing production. So this is further described in more detail on page, I think, 58 in the draft plan. But basically, in summary, once this housing production plan is in place and the town produces 0.5% of its housing stock, existing housing stock, as affordable units, so this would equal 35 units, it can claim safe harbor from 40B developments for a year. Or alternatively, if that doubles, if it produced 70 affordable units, it can claim safe harbor for 2 years. Just along with being just a helpful guide for the town, this has like an actual very practical, helpful use for the town. So like I said, this plan is an update from the 2017 plan. It's got a bunch of great population and housing data in there. It analyzes the constraints and challenges to housing and provides a set of recommended goals and strategies that the town can pursue to address its housing needs. Just as a quick summary kind of how the breakdown of the strategies are kind of organized. There's 4 different kind of categories that they're broken into. The first is building local capacity. So that's leveraging both financial resources and staff, professional, and community support resources to conduct future housing initiatives and continue to the community outreach process that we've already kind of kicked off here. The second is making zoning changes. So since regulatory barriers end up preventing much needed types of housing from being built, there's recommended changes to the zoning to help facilitate the types of housing that were kind of requested and would help meet people's needs, but are also desirable and fit in with the existing character of the community. The third is housing development strategies. So just ways that the town can provide for support for projects and remove certain challenges, existing barriers to creating housing through partnerships, advocacy, and just the steps that need to be taken to facilitate new development. And then the fourth is housing preservation strategies. So just ensuring that the existing affordable housing remains affordable and is preserved so we don't lose these important units. And also exploring ways that the town can support residents, local organizations, and restoring vacant and abandoned properties. Let's see. Just a highlight of the plan as well, there's a set of recommended areas to focus new development on and redevelopment when possible. So these were sites that were discussed with the committee meetings, and we proposed them at the mapping activity that we did at the public forum. So I'll just list these off. So it was the Bed Bath & Beyond and Shaw's site, the Auburn Mall, and these are just future potential sites that could have capacity for housing. the Yankee Drummer Inn site on Southbridge Street, 25 Vinyl Street and 5 Main Street. I believe there's town-owned land there. There's a site on Route 20 near the North Oxford Walmart, and Perry Place is also identified. So that's my quick summary of the plan. Definitely looking for if there's any feedback, if there's anything that stuck out to you. Happy to go in and make some changes necessary, but yeah, I'll conclude.
Any questions?
Yeah, I had a question. The upcoming bylaw changes that are going to be voted on at town meeting on May 7th, what kind of an impact will those have?
Yeah, I'm not
It's 3 articles.
too familiar with that. I was hoping Adam would be here because he's very familiar with that. He's not online, is he, Darlene? I'm going to ask her.
He's online. I don't see him on.
Thank you for the question. So at least one of the articles that we have going, and perhaps Adam can expand more at the next meeting, but one of the articles is required because we are one of the MBTA communities. So there is a awareness to try to make it easier for housing to go in, and that has been kind of a procedure over the past year. You may remember at the last town meeting, we had some zoning changes to support that, and this zoning change for the MBTA, at least one of those articles, is required for us to move in that direction. The housing plan that Emily described, we have been working on it for over a year. And so we've identified areas of the town that could possibly support housing, and really taking the plan that was from 2017, bringing it up to speed on what's current now, and recognizing the challenges of the town and trying to get our affordable housing percentage up. Hope that helps. But Adam can provide.
I was just wondering if you had like a guesstimate as to how many people will actually build an in-law apartment. That's what I think the article allows.
Yeah, we do have the ADU article that's being presented. And really, that is something that the state is focusing on how to make it easier, because I think, even in the past several years with COVID and people staying home and having extended families staying with them, the push is to try to make it easier for people to do that. There's a lot of living situations that you have family supporting each other, which is a really good thing for society in general. But zoning wise, that process hasn't always been very easy. So to try to make those changes kind of support what the overall goal is for housing is really kind of where we're, the direction that we're going to.
Thank you.
I think touching on Glenn's question, one of the updates to the bylaws, I believe that's coming, is the change in parking requirements per unit per se. So does your plan incorporate that? Is that take that?
Yeah, that should be in one of the goals. I forget exactly which one, but that is in there. I believe it's just a general goal to meet the compliance of Section 3A of the Mass General Laws. So basically, Auburn essentially meets the qualifications under this new law. It was just when we ran this compliance model, which is the state put out all these kind of smaller requirements. So basically in order to meet the minimum density requirements of it, the town has to reduce the parking requirements. And once that's done, the town and CMRPC is also happy to help with this, but submitting just the compliance to the state, and then you'll be all set. So you're in much better shape than a lot of towns, I have to say.
Emily, thank you for the overview and the update. Just curious, what is the next step? Once the board approves, what happens now to the plan?
Yeah, so immediate next steps, once this board approves, then I will make this kind of same presentation to the select board meeting, an upcoming one, whenever I can get on the agenda. If both boards approve, then we submit to the state. They have like a 30-day review period to get back to me with any feedback. If there's any kind of big changes that they see and want to make to the plan, I'll just come back to this board meeting and let you all know and just probably get a reapproval. I've never had to do that in the past. This is probably the 7th or 8th plan that I've done. So I have a very good idea of what the state expects from this plan. So there might be a couple small changes, but hopefully I think it is in very good shape for the state to approve it. Basically, yeah. So anticipating in a couple months, you'll have a 5-year plan. And in terms of like implementation, like kind of moving forward with it too. So at the very end, there's like what we created, like this implementation matrix. So it has a list of all the strategies and kind of the responsible parties. So I think we signed planning board up for a few of them at least. And so that will be kind of a guide for the overall town. We were talking, because the group that I've been working with has been so fantastic, and just talking about ways to kind of continue the work of that group, the Housing Production Plan Committee. So likely that group will dissolve, but if they want to turn it into some kind of implementation committee or something like that, I think there's a recommendation in there as well. So just to kind of keep people on track, if there's future like community engagement or just public outreach opportunities, just to keep the public informed about what the town is doing and continue to seek feedback. That was recommended as well. So definitely don't want this to sit on a shelf, want this to be an active plan. CMRPC, we are here as a resource as well. So if there's specific items in there that you think you would need like technical assistance for, I'm not going anywhere, so I'm here for folks to reach out, and we can just make sure that this plan is moving the town forward. Yeah.
Any other questions?
Like, we have some 40B apartments going in up Laker Street. Are they accounted into the little more than 5% level that we're at now?
Yeah, is that the
Or do
Eastland
they
Partners
not
one?
Counted, do they have to get permits for them first, or do they have to be occupied, or how does that work?
Yeah, I believe so are those the ones that are finishing being built at the moment? Yeah, is that the
Currently
Eastland
being
Partners? Yeah, so I don't think those are not on the registry yet. So it's called the Subsidized Housing Inventory. It's the state's overall count of all and it breaks it down town by town, how many affordable units are in the town. So those have not been counted yet. I believe they would have to seek the permits for it first. But once, I think I wrote it in here, once those are accounted, I think it was 324 units, of which 25% will be reserved as affordable. This is just what I was told.
75 more.
Yeah. So that will increase the town's subsidized housing inventory to 6.4% and allow the town to achieve safe harbor for 2 years.
What does safe harbor exactly mean?
Yeah, so that's if a developer is seeking a comprehensive permit in order to build more densely, the town can deny essentially that comprehensive permit. So, yeah, is that clear? That's a very simplified way of putting it, but.
How dense are we talking? Like, what kind of project would it prevent? Like, because I don't really think there's like huge apartment buildings.
Right, yeah. It just allows a developer to override local zoning. So if there's just an area that's only zoned for single family, they could put in duplexes, they could put in huge multifamily apartments. They still have to comply with all other, wetlands regulations, things like that. It's just, it gives them the power to override local zoning.
But similar to, or the same as 40B?
Yes, yeah.
One more question, and just informational purposes only. Have you seen a rise in number of 40B plans or 40B developments looking to establish themselves in Auburn?
Not to my knowledge. You mean in the past like 5 years?
Yeah, in the
or
past 5 years or so.
Yeah, that's not something I'm aware of. Again, I wish if Adam was here, he would totally know that question. Maybe Darlene has it.
Thank you for the question. So we have, over the past several years, we have had many inquiries about 40B, and you may have heard some of them. Typically, what happens is a developer will contact the town, and they'll identify that they are proposing a project. They will come to the Board of Selectmen typically to kind of talk about that publicly. And then there's a series of hearings. Overall, the 40B, obviously the intent is to get more housing, affordable housing into the town. So trying to work with those developers is a benefit to the town to try to get, other things that may help. So for example, on Albert Street, Albert and Blaker Street, where that development is going up right now, they're in various stages of development. So there's, I don't want to quote wrong, but I'm going to say at least six to 8 buildings actively being built right now. So as those buildings, it's my understanding that as they get occupancy, those will start going into what's being counted. But until they're completed and actually given occupancy by the town, they don't actually count as our housing. But that project is moving along very, very well. And we've had other contacts to the town regarding 40B housing developments. So that I do think that you are going to see more of that in the future because there is developable land, and part of the housing production plan updates that Emily is talking about. We'd like to be able to work with developers so that there are some benefits that we might be able to get out of a development. So whether that is, them designated an area, green space, for hiking trails, something that is friendly to the town that will get benefit from that. So typically they call that the friendly 40B way. If the town doesn't really have the appetite to really want to work with the developer, sometimes they can go the right to the state and bypass the town. So, we've had really kind of good town administration to be able to try to help work with developers to further that discussion with development and trying to get as many things that can benefit residents as possible.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the plan as presented.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Thank you. All right, Glenn?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Dwarkesh? I myself, Jason, is an aye. Carries. Motion approved.
Great,
Thank
thank you so much. I'll keep you all updated with how this goes with the select board, and then hopefully we'll have a final plan for you in a couple months.
Very much, appreciate it. Next up on the agenda is a public hearing for applicant Dean and Flynn Incorporated, doing business as Fiesta Show, requesting a special permit under section 3.2.5.5 of the Auburn zoning law for outdoor entertainment, a carnival to be held at Auburn Mall. Is there anybody here representing them?
I'm John Flynn. I'm the Vice President of Dean and Flynn, doing business as Fiesta Shows.
Thank you.
Here before you tonight to request to do a family festival over at the mall. I think it's been probably 23 years since we've done something over there.
Sorry, matter of record, can I get a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll make that motion. I'll second it.
Thank you. Glad.
Aye.
Aye.
Jason, and myself is aye.
Thank you.
Hearing's open. Aye.
Yeah, it's probably been 23 years since we've done something over at the mall. In past years, we had done, I think it was 8 different events over at the mall, and then we did 2 events for the 4th of July over at the high school to raise funds for them. But we're looking at doing a family festival over there, July 25th to the 28th. We changed the dates on it to make sure that we had the time to get everything in place. And naturally, subject to the approval of this board, it would then go in front of the building department, electrical department, health department, fire department, and police, along with the Commonwealth of Mass Department of Public Safety that inspects everything.
All right, are there any comments from the audience before we get into it? No comments? Does anybody on the board have any questions?
I saw the comments about the safety concerns and I was just, these plans are a little bare. Will there be more presented about the safety procedures?
I'll be working with the police department on that. We actually have a private security company, Phoenix Services, that'll be there taking care of people when they come in the gate, and then naturally working with the police. We'll have the police contingency. They know better than I do what we need, so I rely on them.
And what is your peak capacity?
I'll be able to tell you that after we do the final layout.
3,500,
thought it was-
3,500 for.
I think it was something like that. I don't have that information right in front of me, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. So in terms of, so if your peak capacity is about 3,500 people, how many employees from Phoenix Security are you expecting to have on a shift at any given time?
I would have 5 people from Phoenix Security that would be working there, and then obviously whatever the police department decides for the details.
Seems a little low for me, but
You've obviously, Darlene, has he been privy to all the stuff that we've gotten from the police and the fire and everything with respect to how many people we want on? And there was a list of all kinds of other conditions. He has that. She's going to speak.
Thank you so much, Mr. Brooks, for the question. So we do have the lieutenant from police here. If we can allow Lieutenant Stephanie Haywood to speak. And I do believe we have our fire chief as well. So we appreciate the applicant wanting to work with fire and police. That's ultimately what we're looking for. So thank you very much. I'll allow the lieutenant.
Hi, how are you? I'm Lieutenant Stephanie Hayward. I'm happy to answer any questions. We have been working with Fiesta Shows at DCG meetings in regards to security, and I have spoken with Chief Lemon at length with it about it. He's going to have his own private security there, but we've spoken with the chief, and we're going to require a minimum of 3 police officers hired by Fiesta Shows for the daytime, and then for the evening, we're going to be looking at 5 to 6 police officers. We've also spoken with our detective bureau. They're going to have specialty units from outside agencies like the DYS and like the Worcester Detective Units with some more specialty knowledge of regards to maybe some of the personnel we don't want involved. They're going to be walking through during the nighttime hours, hoping to keep any issues at bay. So I think we could work well together and make sure that there's enough security on hand. But I think 5 to 6 per nighttime would be adequate, and then 3 during the day shift.
all right, and you guys are okay with their number of Phoenix Security being only at 5?
I think that's good. I think it's a decent supplement to ours. We'll make sure that ours are going to be inside, and then during the nighttime hours, we're also going to have plainclothes detectives walking through as well, on top of the security that he's hiring from us.
Okay.
And you're okay with the 35, it's 3,500 maximum people?
I haven't seen that number, it could be, but basically the way that we were.
Please come to the mic.
I'm back over.
Please come to the mic. Thank
We
you.
would go ahead and working with the police, if it seemed like there were getting to be too many people in there, we shut the gate down. We are actually going to have a gate where they have to pay to come in. Children between the ages of 14 and 17 have to be accompanied by an adult. We want to make this a family event.
Was that, if you said the last time you were here was 23 years ago,
I
and
believe it was.
I just, I don't recall any major problems of any kind, you know, maybe some isolated incidents, but I don't recall any major.
I don't either, sir.
Hayward, you mentioned about I think in your email, the plan lacking information on the entrance and exits and emergency exit plans. Has that been resolved?
He had originally only had one entrance and exit in his plan, and I believe his newest one has at least 2 exits.
Correct.
I do think we might work with him and maybe try and get one more exit towards the back. It's just an emergency exit, no entrance in that one. So clearly marked exit only, you know, that way if God forbid there be any sort of exigent circumstance, we can push people out different exits. But he's been very willing to make any accommodations we've required.
So one more question on and maybe this is to the organizer. So for the 3,500 people, so you're thinking of a limitation? Are you?
We would gauge with the amount of people that are in there. And as I said, 3,500 is the first time that I've heard that. I honestly don't think we'd come anywhere near 3,500 people. I would think more, maybe at a peak time, 800 to 1,000 people, perhaps. But 3,500 people is a lot of people. It's like Topsfield Fair, and we're not going to see that here.
So a couple of additional questions. One is, so this is July 25th to 28th, right? Is there?
Yes, it
What
is.
time does the carnival, what is the time? Like when does it start, when does it close?
Okay, on the 25th, 26th, and 27th, which is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it would be, and we're going to probably modify the closing time. What I'm looking at is maybe 5 to 10 and close down at 10. Saturday and Sunday would open up at 12 and go to either 9 or 10. And if necessary, we'd even close earlier if that came to it.
And then do you anticipate parking challenges, or do you have a?
Yeah, the parking plan there is, I want to say at least 300 parking spaces at the garage, which is empty, and that's where the people would park and then come over to the admission gate.
And then is there a traffic assessment that's been done on this? Is there a need for traffic assessment?
To the best of my knowledge, no, I don't believe we need that. But again, I bow to the pros.
To my knowledge, there has not been a traffic assessment done, nor do I think that we need one. I did work our previous carnival we had in town. I don't believe it was Fiesta Shows. We had one probably, I think it was 2013, 14, give or take. And I don't believe there was one done then. We didn't have any traffic issues or parking concerns back then at the time. And best guess, we probably had about 500 or 600 people at our max
I see.
on like a Saturday night. I don't think we'll come anywhere near these numbers.
Okay.
Thank you.
Questions? Chief Coleman, I know you're online. Do you have any comments?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. No, I just echo Lieutenant Hayward's comments. As long as the promoter is willing to work with the rescue department, you know, I agree with the lieutenant's assessment. I don't think we're going to see anything close to 35. Nor we'll be lucky to probably break 1,000 on it like this. The reality is that it's unrealistic to think that we could even move 1,000 people into the community with a gathered event and not have on-night emergency medical services or and special activities. So that's why I'm encouraging the planning board, and we'll also encourage when it comes to any permits that they issue, that they make as a condition of the permit that he works with us to make sure that we have a fire rescue presence on site.
Thank you, Chief Coleman. Are you guys willing to have both fire and EMS present at the carnival? Yeah. In case of emergency?
Whatever we need for public safety. Correct.
Seeing no other questions? No. All right. I entertain a motion to approve the permit as requested, pending that Fiesta Carnival. Oh,
To the chair, this is Adam. Can you hear me?
oh, hey, Adam.
please make sure you, for housekeeping, make sure you've opened and closed the hearing before you make any approval.
Yeah, we opened it late, but we opened it. We just gotta close it. All right, entertain a motion to close the hearing.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Second it.
Thank you. Glenn?
Aye.
Sarah?
Aye.
Don?
Aye.
Dorcas?
Aye.
Myself, Jason, is an aye. The hearing is closed. Now I entertain a motion to approve the plan as presented, pending that there will be both fire and EMS presence available during the carnival on site, and fire and police as well.
I'll make that motion.
Friendly amendment. I make a motion to approve the plan as presented, pending that all conditions by police, fire, and EMS are met. All right? And development coordinator. Thank you.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes. Your plan is approved. Thank you. All right. Next up is applicant Mercedes Familiar requesting site plan approval. I'll entertain a motion to open the hearing on Mercedes Familiar requesting the site plan approval.
Through the chair, that's already been opened.
Sorry, what, Adam?
That hearing's already been opened. It's been continued from a previous
Okay.
meeting.
Thank you. Never mind.
All
All right, is there anybody here representing Mercedes Familiar?
Bye-bye.
Adam, I don't know if you have any updates on that.
I don't. She said she was going to be there when I emailed her last week. I don't know what her, how many children she'll be having, but it is a daycare, so this board may not legally be able to deny a daycare. I don't know. We haven't had any complaints or questions about this. I don't know if the board wants to consider approving it without hearing from the applicant or not.
Sorry, Adam, we're having a really hard time hearing you.
Sorry, I'm outside. I haven't heard from the applicant, and I haven't heard from any abutters. The state regulates daycare. I don't know if this board wants to just approve the daycare without hearing from the applicant, since the board can't really deny a daycare.
Adam, can we continue this into the next meeting so they can
At least give them one more chance
Yep,
to
you
show up.
can.
show up?
You can, and I'll reach out to them again next week.
And maybe in that time, if we want to remind them to come into the planning board, I think that'll be good.
Will do.
Awesome. Thank you.
Can you just pull up the date of the next meeting?
I think it's May
7th? Yeah,
May 14th.
May 7th is town meeting.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to continue this hearing to the May 14th meeting.
I'll make that motion. I'll second it. Aye.
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 Myself, I'm an aye. So this motion is continued to the May 14th meeting. All right, moving forward to other business. We have the town meeting accessory bylaw discussion. Darlene, I don't know if you or Adam have anything.
Yeah, just through the chair, this was a housekeeping measure I neglected to ask the board to do last time. The accessory bylaw per the legal, per town council's legal opinion, deemed it as only needing majority vote at town meeting. but that needs to be kind of approved by the town, by the planning board. So if you agree that it just needs a majority of vote, we need the board to vote that the accessory bylaw only needs a majority at town meeting. Just a procedural thing.
If I understand correctly, you need the board to vote to accept the plan again? Sorry, you were breaking it down.
That just needs a majority vote at town meeting.
Okay.
Instead of a 2/3.
Yeah, yep. So I'll entertain a motion that the town meeting only needs a majority vote in order to pass the plan.
I'll make the motion.
Correct, thank you.
All right. Glenn?
Aye.
Sarah?
Aye.
Aye.
Marcus? Jason, I am an aye. It carries. All right, moving forward, we have decisions. Webster 5, and Herb Chambers to sign off. The minutes, are there any edits to the minutes from the 2/27/24 meeting?
No.
All right, no new business unforeseen by the chair. Adam, Nerlene, do you guys have any other updates? Yep.
I don't have anything.
All right. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the 2/27/24 meeting.
I'll make the motion.
Second? I'll take a second. Thank you. Glenn?
Aye.
Sarah?
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
Aye.
Jason, I'm an aye. The minutes are approved. Sorry about that. Adam, any updates?
I don't have any at this time.
Adam, we got to sign the 2 decisions?
Yep. We have them here.
Okay.
We have this. All right. Excuse me. Thank you. You want to sign this one? We'll sign it out. Decisions haven't been signed. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting at 7:44 PM.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Thank you. Glenn?
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
Aye.
Jason himself, I'm an aye. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for.